everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Jonesin Show. I am your host today, Spencer Jones, and we are going to talk about something that's not maybe as morbid as you might think it is. I don't know if the title of this episode drew you in about how to write your own obituary, but what we're talking about today specifically is how you can live your best life, and more specifically, how you can leave the legacy behind that you want to leave behind. Because if we're honest with ourselves, if we ask ourselves, how do I want to be remembered when I'm no longer here, right? It impacts us. It makes us think, and it makes us wonder. And we generally, at least the majority of people I've talked with, myself personally, we want to leave a good legacy behind. We want to leave something behind that people will smile when they think of us. They think of the happy moments, the happy memories, or maybe they were inspired or motivated by us, right? I know that's one thing that I would like to leave behind with my legacy, is that I was able to help people achieve their goals, that I was a person in their life that encouraged them, that supported them, and loved them to help them achieve what they wanted to achieve, right? So how do you create this legacy? Because we go through life, and it's easy because we just go through life, right? We just, one day's after another day, and we go through the steps, the paces of life, and, all of a sudden, you're young, and then you're a teenager, and then you're, have your first job or college, and then you get married and kids, and it just keeps going. But it's easy to get sucked into that cycle of just letting the days flow into the next and into another day, into another day, right? And which is great and fine for some people, but if you're listening to the show, I don't think that's right for you, because you want to live your best life. You have goals, you have things you want to achieve. You want to help yourself and help other people live their best life, right? And you want to help them and help yourselves as well. So to do that, we have this idea of this legacy we want to leave behind, right? Maybe you haven't really thought about it before. Maybe this is a newer concept for you, and maybe some of you have thought about this before. But what do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to say about you when you are no longer here? So today, that's what we're talking about. If you want to learn how to leave a legacy behind that is impactful, that is meaningful, that shows that you led a great life and a meaningful life that impacted other people, then this is a show for you. If not, that's cool. You switch to the next show, watch another one, go do something else, whatever. That's totally cool. But if this sounds right for you, keep listening. Before we jump there, if you like these shows, please hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the other episodes coming up. Drop a comment. Love that. Love feedback, reviews. iTunes really rates on reviews, so if you can leave a review, 1 star, 5 star, and a little words, that'd be awesome. I read all of them. So, again, this episode's hopefully for you if you want to leave an amazing legacy behind. So here's what you do. Now, we're not going to get morbid. We're not going to get crazy with this, but I'm going to be real with you. You need to write your own obituary. You want to look at your life the way it is right now, this moment in time. No changes, nothing. From where you stand at this moment, if you were, heaven forbid, pass away today, what would your family and friends write about you in your obituary? Now, I heard about this whole writing your obituary thing from Darren Hardy. I heard about it in his book called The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. Awesome book if you're an entrepreneur and you want to get a handle of things and kind of stepwise and see what this journey is like. Great book. But he's not the only one who says it. There's a lot of other people who talk about writing your own obituary. So maybe you've heard this before. And we're doing this in 2 different steps because I found that is what really worked for me and has helped other people. So, again, in your life as it is today, if you were to, heaven forbid, pass away, how would you, or what would people say about you? Now, don't ask the people to write. Don't ask your family, your spouse, or your kids, or anyone else, or friends to write an obituary for you. No. Instead, write one for yourself, as if you passed away today. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to look inward and see the good things, the bad things, and things that you're proud of, things that you're not proud of, and write an obituary. Now, an obituary is generally a paragraph long if you think about putting in newspapers, but so many things are online. I'll give you a couple paragraphs long, but let's just keep it like 4 to 8 sentences. If you want a little more, cool, but you don't have to. Let's say 4 to 8 sentences is a good goal for this. So as you're writing it, you need to be truthful with yourself, right? If there's things in your life that, aren't there yet, don't worry about it, but just be truthful. It's hard. It's not easy because you realize things that you don't like about yourself, or things that you would hope you did but just didn't achieve yet. That's okay, right? You didn't pass away yet. Don't worry. You're good. But be honest with yourself. And as you're realizing the things that maybe you're not proud of, you'll also realize things that you are proud of, things that did happen, the amazing things that you have in life. And it can help you be more grateful by doing this as well. So not only is this going to help you shape the legacy that you're going to leave behind and make it an even better one, it's also helping you be grateful for the amazing things you have in your life right now. How cool is that? Like, you get 2 in 1, like with this one exercise that we're doing. So look inward. Face the truth about yourself, write it down. Mine would be like, Spencer Jones was a person who loved the outdoors and loved his family. I would start at something like that, and then it would go into more details about things I've done, family and friends, and things like that. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. When I first did this, I did it about 5 years ago. I heard it from Darren Hardy, and I decided to take this on. And I sat down. I was a classroom teacher at the time, and it was before my choirs came in, before the school day started. And I sat down to write it. And it was really hard because I wrote one that I wasn't necessarily overly happy with, because I had things in my mind that I wanted to write down. I'll be really clear, like things like, he gave up his time for his family at the drop of a hat, right? Things like that I would want people to say about me. But when I was forcing myself, that is, to write them down on a piece of paper, because I hand wrote it, that I realized that wasn't necessarily totally true. And that's the hard truths I'm talking about, something like that, right? And it could be bigger, it could be smaller, whatever, that's totally cool. It's your personal journey. But I noticed that was really hard for me. And I didn't lie in it. I didn't want to lie, and I don't want you to lie when you write yours. I want you to be honest with it. Write down the things that are good. And, you're not flowering it up, really. You're not making it sound all great and you're high and mighty, but you're not wanting to be too hard on yourself either, right? It's okay, right? This is a learning experience. This is a tool that's going to help you live your best life and help you leave that legacy behind that you want to leave behind. So, for example, that was one of the hard things that I had to face, was realizing, as much as I think I put my family first and I want to put my family first, I don't. And I need to change that. So what I did then, after I wrote that obituary, I let that settle into place for a little bit. Let me think about that. And I thought about, as I was writing it and afterwards, I thought about the things I would need to change to live that life I want to live, and more so leave that legacy behind that I want to leave behind. What do I want people to say about me when I'm no longer here? And as I wrote the first one, my we'll call it like the truthful obituary, right? As I wrote my truthful obituary, I realized that all those things weren't there, and I needed to make some changes. And I thought of ways to change. So then I thought about it, like, okay, this makes sense. I need to make these changes, and I just jotted them down. Just, make family a priority, and, spend more time doing this, or do this aspect, whatever it is for you, right? So I just made a quick list. Nothing crazy, nothing hardcore, just a quick jot down of things that I would want to change. And then, here comes the next step. Here comes where the Jonesin 4-way comes in. This is the way that I found really helped me move with this and really help use this tool to help me live my best life and help me leave that legacy behind, right? So I wrote my truthful obituary. Now, I want you to write an optimistic obituary, right? Dream a little bit. Have fun with this. Write down the obituary that you want people to write about you when you are no longer here. So whenever you are called off this earth, what are people going to write about you? And write it in the way that you want, the things you want them to say about you, they said about you in your obituary. And you get to pick it, right? This is like the coolest thing because you get to pick what they put inside it. The cool things you did, the cool experiences you've had, the people you've helped, the life you've led, all of that stuff you could put in here and make yourself be this rock star. Now, I caution you with it a little bit because let's say, let's say you're in the middle class, right? And you put in your obituary, your dream or your optimistic obituary, your dream obituary. That sounds kind of weird, but you're a middle class family, and all of a sudden, the billionaire Spencer Jones passed away. ... Right? Well, okay, maybe if your goal is to be a billionaire, sure. But you don't have to do like crazy far big goals like that. It's not meant to be like this goal setting thing for you. It's meant for you to look inward and to see the things that you can change. Some of it might be achievements, like monetary achievements, like winning awards or doing stuff like that. Sure, it could be. But generally for this, the things that people write in obituaries, the things that they share about you, were things that are intimate about you. Right? Relatively intimate about you, right? Not necessarily the deep, dark secrets or anything like that, but the things that are close to you. He was a caring person. She was a loving person who always inspired others. You see where I'm going with this? It's that introspective look. It's looking inside and seeing what amazing qualities you have and things you can improve on. So you write your optimistic obituary. What would people write when you're gone in your ideal life, right? What would they write? You write it. You get to say it. You write it down. Then you take that optimistic obituary, you compare it to your truthful one, the first one you wrote, and you already jotted down the couple things that you wanted to change. Add to that list if you need to. Maybe you need to, maybe you don't. Maybe that list is set, right? So like for me, one of the things that was on my list is make family a priority. So then I sat down and thought about this. And I went, how can I make family a true priority? Not just one on pen and paper, not just one so it looks good on social media or on a podcast or show or whatever. How can I truly make my family a priority? And so then I sat down and I thought of ways that I can make that happen. And I wrote them down. So kind of like you're making that goal and you're tasked to get there, but it's not, it's a goal, yes, totally is a goal, and with tasks to get there, but it's not like a physical goal, it's more mental, it's more spiritual type of goal with this one. At least that was for me in that case, right? Maybe yours are different, that's totally cool. But I wrote down what I needed to do, and then I put those in places that I could see almost every day, right? Whether it's every day, every other day, something like that, but frequently enough, not once a week, more often than that I would see those things I want to change, just a list, put it someplace where I see it, and then it reminded me every day of the things that I want to change and improve in my life to leave that legacy behind that I want to leave behind, right? I want to help make this world a better place. I think the majority of us want to leave this world a better place. How can you do that, right? And so you just have those notes written somewhere, posted somewhere that you see it every day or so, and you're reminded of that. And then I will look back on both obituaries, but mainly my optimistic obituary. I will look at that again about every month. I go back to it and I look at it and I see, okay, am I getting closer to this? Do I feel like I'm doing the right steps to get to my optimistic obituary, to make that my truthful obituary? Okay. And then I see, yep, I'm on track. I'm doing well with this. I think I'm getting closer to it. After about 6 months to a year, somewhere within that time frame, I like to do this whole exercise again, at least once a year, where I then, at that point in time, go back and I write a truthful obituary. The hard truths, facing the ones that are hard for me, but also the good things, right? As if I were to, again, just like the beginning, as if I passed away today, what would my family and friends say about me in my obituary? That's that one. And then again, I would write my optimistic one. Now, the hope is that in a year's time, right, that your truthful obituary is going to be a heck of a lot closer to your optimistic one that you had written, and maybe they're pretty similar as it is, right? You just needed that time to get there. And then you're golden, you're set. It's awesome, right? You've achieved that part of it, that if you were to pass away, then they're writing what you'd want them to write about you. And maybe not, or maybe you changed and adapted a little bit, and you've adjusted it, and you have different goals, you have different things in life, you have different things that you want them to say about you. Great. Then that goes in your optimistic one, and then you have something new to continue to work for, or you're just continuing to work on. It doesn't necessarily have to be new, right? That you're continuing to live your best life, you're continuing to chase your passions to the max, help others, and leave that legacy behind that you want to leave behind. Now, this is a crazy episode. This is a different episode. This is a weird concept. Now, I've talked with people, a number of people, about writing their own obituary. And the response that I usually get is this. Crickets. A lot of people struggle to face the truth, to face the fact that, we're mortal. We all are going to die at some point. We don't get out of this thing alive, right? And it's a hard thing to face because a lot of us just aren't mentally ready for it. And that makes this exercise hard. I totally get it. But if you want to really look at your life introspectively and see how you can leave a legacy behind that you want to leave behind, how you can help people, how you can inspire people, how you can make this world a better place, I strongly urge you to do this exercise of writing your own obituary. Write the truthful one, and then write your optimistic obituary. It's hard. It's not easy because, yes, you have to deal with the mortality of life in your own mind, and that, we don't get out of this alive, but then also you have to face the truths about yourself, and that's not always easy. Actually, that's really not easy. It's uncomfortable to do that a lot of the time, and most of the time. I mean, if you don't like it, it makes you uncomfortable, right? You don't like it. That's life. But then you're using that to help create the optimistic one, the ones that you want to go to, and it helps guide you to do that. So I want you to leave an amazing legacy behind, right? And I hope you don't pass away for a long, long, long time. We're all going to die at some point. Yeah, sorry to tell you, it's going to happen, right? But hopefully that's not going to happen for years and years and years away, right? That you didn't have to worry about it or think about it in the sense of, that's going to happen. But I do want you to think about the legacy that you're going to leave behind. And if you don't even want to think about it as a legacy of when you pass away, maybe the legacy, if you leave a job, right? You leave one career in your life, if you want to think about it, careers, or one chapter in your life. What would people say about you in that chapter in your life? What would they say? I can tell you from personal experience that some of those chapters in my life, people wouldn't say the things that I would hope that they would say because I wasn't necessarily that person that I probably should have been. I think there's a lot of great moments, there's a lot of good things I did throughout those years, but there's a lot of not so good things, right? And things I didn't realize at that time that I realized later. And so if I could take that look now and see, oh yeah, I messed up here, I should have done this differently, then I could use that to learn and help me improve for the future so I can leave that legacy behind that I want to leave behind. And you could do the same thing, right? We all go through life. We all get scars. We all go through tough times. We all go through great times. And it's using those times, the tough times, to learn, grow from so we can have more and better, amazing times. And using those amazing times to help fuel us and lift us up to continue to go on and have even more amazing experiences and help more people. So my challenge is to you is to face your mortality in a sense, right? In a sense, and write your own obituary. Look inwardly, look towards yourself and face those hard truths and write a truthful obituary. Then write an optimistic one, the one you would want people to write about you. And then make a list of the things that you want to change and how you can do that and put it in a place you'd see every day. And then reflect back on your obituary, your optimistic obituary, once a month or so. And then every 6 months or a year, look back and repeat this whole exercise to help you grow and become closer and get closer. Become closer is not the right word. Get closer to that legacy you want to leave behind. There you go, folks. This is a strange episode. It's a little different, but I know you can do it, and I know you can improve your life and get closer to living that life you want to live and leaving that legacy behind that you want to leave behind. If you like this episode, if you like this show, please subscribe to it. I really do appreciate it. Seriously, I love all of you for sharing and giving up your time, your energy to listen to this. And I hope that I've helped you. I hope that I've inspired you. And I hope that I can help you chase your passions to the max through all these tips, whether it's focus, whether it's broad, whatever. I want to help you out. If you could leave a review, that'd be great. If you want to share this out, because, if you share it out with people, that's a huge compliment to me, because that means you care enough that you feel it's good content that is helpful to you, and then you share it out with other people, and we could spread this word, this message out to even more people and help many more people if you help share it out. So I'll get off my soapbox, but there we go, folks. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it. Please subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, folks, until our next episode, I, Spencer Jones, will catch y'all later.